welcome back. Today I'm doing a pumpkin bread with a maple cream cheese frosting. And a real quick announcement before we get into the recipe, I now have merch in an artist shop through Threadless. So you can get t-shirts, you can get hoodies, you can even support the creation of future content with just a cute little button for just a few bucks. I currently have my first 2 designs, and by the time I record my next video, you'll see me wearing some of my sweet new merch. The first is for my annual Thanksgiving stream, and I will be streaming cross-platform this year on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So make sure that you tune in for that starting the Sunday before Thanksgiving. Also, I have a really cute Florida license plate design that says Deglutenizer on it, so definitely check that one out too. And of course, you can order in an assortment of colors, because the way the shop works is that nothing's actually printed until you place your order. So you have pretty much the entire gamut of colors available. Alright, now that I've gotten through my shameless plugs, then let's dive into this recipe. Because, oh my gosh, I can't wait to shove some pumpkin bread in my face. So first things first is I'm going to start off with my creaming mixture. That's my butter and my sugars. So, 1 whole stick of butter. Next up is 8 ounces of sugar. And remember to always zero out your scale after you add each ingredient. And zero my scale. And next up is 3 ounces of brown sugar. And I'm going to set my creaming mixture aside and let the butter continue to soften while I combine my dry ingredients. So for my dry ingredients, I'm going to start off with 3 ounces of brown rice flour. Next up is 6 ounces of gluten-free all-purpose flour, and I like Bob's Red Note. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. You can use the store-bought pre-ground stuff. If you are using fresh though, then just kind of eyeball it. 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum, which will help the gases produced by the baking soda and baking powder to actually stay trapped in our dough instead of immediately escaping out into the oven. And I'm just going to use my whisk to break up any lumps in my flours and combine my leaveners into my dry mix. So I'm going to take my butter and sugars and go ahead and cream this before I add the rest of my wet ingredients. So here's my creamed mixture, and all I have to do now is add my wet ingredients. First up is 2.2 ounces of milk. Next is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And of course the star of the show, 1 can of pumpkin. So this is it for my wet ingredients except for 1. I need 3 eggs separated. So I'm going to show you the best way to separate eggs. So to separate my eggs, I'm going to use this bowl. Carefully lift one side of my shell away, and using the shell to catch the yolk, I'm just going to pass it back and forth and let the white drip off the edge of the shell. Alright, so I'm going to deposit my yolk into my wet ingredient bowl, toss the shell, and place my white into my separate mixing bowl because I am going to whip my whites. So now I'm going to take my liquid ingredients and creamed mixture back over to my hand mixer and beat this all together. And in 2 additions, I want to add my dry ingredients to my wet mixture. So, as you can see, my mixture now is very dense. It is just staying on my rubber spatula. So what I'm going to do to lighten my mixture up is I'm going to whip my egg whites and fold them into the batter to add some lightness and increase the volume of air in my batter. So I'm going to beat my egg whites to about medium or maybe even stiff peaks. Main thing though is I want to make sure to lift the egg whites when I'm done and check for any liquid whites still hanging out at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and add about 1/3 of my egg whites and just mix that in without worrying about folding, just to start lightening my batter and make it a little more manageable to fold in the rest of my egg whites. I'm going to take another 1/3 and add those. And to fold in, what I want to do is go vertically down the bowl, turn the spatula and fold it over, and then turn the bowl and do the same exact motion, like that. Here we go. Alright, that looks good to pan up. So I've got 2 pans, and I just added some oil, and I'm just going to use a paper towel and swab that around so that my pumpkin bread releases easily after baking. So I have my loaf pans greased, and they are ready to be filled. If you are using foil mini pans, you do not have to grease them. All you need to do is just once they finish baking and finished cooling, is you can turn it upside down, push down on the bottom, and pop it right out. Each of these will hold comfortably between 9 and 10 ounces of batter. So according to my math, I have about 46 ounces of batter here. That's going to divide out into 23 ounces per pan. And of course on the second one, I can simply dump all the batter in at once, because it should be half. So now I'm just going to take my rubber spatula and level off my batter. And there we go. 2 nearly identical pans of pumpkin bread batter. So this just needs to go into a 350-degree oven, probably for about 50 minutes or so, but I'm going to start checking on them at 30 to see if I need to adjust my temperature at all or rotate my pans. While my loaves are in the oven, I have the perfect opportunity to clean up my mess. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far, please consider giving me a like, leaving a comment down below, hitting the subscribe button, and ringing the bell to get notifications anytime I upload a new video. So it's been about 40 minutes. A toothpick came out clean. So I need to pull my beautiful pumpkin breads and get them up onto this rack to begin cooling down. While my pumpkin bread cools down, I need to start working on my maple cream cheese frosting. And yes, it is as good as it sounds. To start off, I'm going to need a whole block of cream cheese. To that, I'm going to add half a stick of butter. And these need to sit off to the side and warm up to just a little cooler than room temperature so that it will be easy to mix them together. And I'm looking for 6.2 ounces of my powdered sugar. If you want it sweeter, you could add more, but remember that you're also going to be adding maple syrup, which of course contains sugar. And to anything sweet, I always add some salt just for contrast to help emphasize the sweetness and deepen my flavors. So I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt to my powdered sugar. So first thing first is I want to beat my cream cheese and my butter until smooth. To this I need to add 2.8 ounces of maple syrup, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I need to sift in my powdered sugar and salt mixture from earlier. And then any stubborn clumps, all I'm going to do is use my fingertips and push them through my sieve. Now I just need to beat this all together and be careful about powdered sugar explosions. So start off on low speed. So I use the most basic frosting technique, which is basically just gloop it on and then smooth it out. So, and I think I'll just do a cute little zigzag swirl. So here is my lovely frosted pumpkin bread. Oh God, it smells so good. I can't wait to dig in. So I just finished my pictures, and now it's time for my favorite part where I actually get to eat the thing that I've been cooking the entire video. So, here we go. The first thing you notice is just how soft and fluffy the inside is, and that's from whipping those egg whites and carefully folding them in. It's spectacular. And of course the maple cream cheese frosting on top is just the perfect complement. So all in all, just a delectable fall and holiday treat. I recommend that you give this one a shot as soon as you possibly can, because oh my God, it is so good. Don't forget, I will be live streaming Thanksgiving starting the Sunday before. So tune in to see me make homemade eggnog, cornbread, and then turn that cornbread into a couple different side dishes, including my famous cornbread dressing. I'm also making my famous creamy casserole and a bunch of other dishes that are classics on our family Thanksgiving table. So do not miss that. So I'm going to go finish off this piece and probably have a second. I'll see you guys next time on the Deglutenizer. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, I hope you'll consider supporting me on Patreon for just $2 a month. Patrons receive early access to content, early announcements for upcoming projects, and much more. Help me grow by becoming a patron today.